I'm here with Patrick Starzan from Funny or Die, and Patrick, I'm going to put you on the spot and make me laugh. 5 seconds. Quick.
Wow. Duck walks into the bar, says ouch. Never mind.
So you're obviously a major online destination content comedy juggernaut.
Wow.
And the panel you were just on was sort of about how different content brands, and in your case, video-heavy content brands, are using things like social media. Mm-hmm. One of the interesting things for me is the fact that you have sort of an exclusivity of content. Like, you want everybody to come to your site to consume the content, and unlike I think some of the other panelists, you don't use sites like YouTube at all in terms of content discovery. So can you talk a little bit about your model of sort of content discovery and then how you're using social media to build the audience and the fan base?
Yeah, so we started off definitely with a walled garden approach, where we just wanted people coming back to Funny or Die. But we actually built our own player in the beginning. So
so just on that front, you're not using a Bright Cove or an Uyala or one of the other OVPs?
No, and it was a great strategic decision for us, because for a number of reasons. One, from a discoverability aspect, our player's embeddable. So when we're going out there and doing blog outreach for particular videos, when Perez Hilton or Access Hollywood's embedding our player, we're getting the branding, but then we're also, from an SEO point of view, getting links back to Funny or Die. So that's really helped with not only traffic from an organic way, but also for the ability to discover and to share. We started off really in the early days of social media, building up our Facebook account and Twitter accounts, back when Twitter, no one even knew what it was, and Kevin Rose was the most followed person on Twitter, because we understood at that point, like, that would really help to enhance our discoverability and get people to share our content. So
just on that front, so there's an @FunnyOrDie Twitter account.
Yes.
And then are there other sort of maybe more sort of granular Twitter accounts, like for different series or types of shows or personalities who are involved in the project?
Yeah, no, it's all @FunnyOrDie. So we really kind of wanted to focus on bringing everyone back and developing the brand. So we focused on that and having one voice for the brand. So we did that early on. Then we did actually develop a big blogger outreach program, categorizing all of our videos, and did 25 different categories at that time, and then developing relationships with thousands of blogs within all those different categories.
So those categories, I think of comedy as sort of the overarching category, but what are some example categories?
Yeah, so celebrity and entertainment, obviously comedy, politics, sports. And then it gets, more and more granular, men's focused, women's focused, weed. So yeah, those were in the early days how we focused on developing our outreach program and how people started discovering who Funny or Die was. Just recently, in the last year and a half, we actually launched our YouTube channel. And that was because we'd felt like Funny or Die had developed into a brand that could stand on its own, that people wouldn't confuse our videos on YouTube with just other YouTube videos. And we also felt that it was a great platform for now Funny or Die to be exposed to a much larger audience. And then we have some different strategies about how we use YouTube.
So with YouTube, what are you putting full skits on YouTube, or sort of marketing videos to drive people back? Like, how are you using YouTube? You mentioned we have a YouTube strategy, so what is the strategy?
Yeah, it's we take a windowing strategy. So any video that's on Funny or Die, or the major videos that are on Funny or Die, don't go on our YouTube channel for about 2 weeks after they've been up on Funny or Die. So you still have to come to Funny or Die to get the freshest content, and then they only stay up for about 5 or 6 months, because we don't want to start competing with YouTube in search, or cannibalizing any of our traffic.
So you'll pull them off of YouTube after a window?
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously we're using all the YouTube strategies of saying, to see more, go to Funny or Die, or for the latest videos, go to Funny or Die. The other thing that we don't do is allow people to embed our content using the YouTube player. We disable that because we only want people to discover Funny or Die videos off of Funny or Die with the player.
Now I know Jim Louderback from Revision 3, we were doing a paid content conference last week, and he talked about the fact that they are making sure that they have an app for the iPad, the iPhone, Google TV, Boxy. Are you developing apps, like Funny or Die apps for all these different sort of TV everywhere platforms?
Yeah, we're definitely, obviously the iPhone and the Android and the iPad. We've developed apps for all of those platforms, or we're developing one for Android right now, but the iPhone and the iPad we have apps for. In terms of like Google TV and Boxy, we're a little bit laggards on that, just because we still do have a small resources, so we're trying to focus on where we'll get the most out of the biggest audience right now. So,
got it. In terms of, I assume you're 100% sort of advertiser supported. That's right. All the revenue is coming from the ad model. Would that be accurate?
No, it's a combination. The majority comes from ads. We also have a branded entertainment unit or a department that's actually creating videos for brands using the same writers, directors, and producers that are creating our videos. So that's a part of it, and then we have licensing deals, and we branched out to become more of a 21st century studio than just a website. So we have a couple shows on TV right now. We picked up for
which shows?
So we got picked up for our third season of HBO Presents, which will come out in Q1. We just had a show on Comedy Central called John Benjamin Has a Van, and then we have a show coming out on Fuse in December called Billy on the Street, which is it's going to be an amazing show. It's Billy Eichner, who's a great comedian, who's basically how I sum it up. It's like Tosh 2.0 meets Cash Cab, where he's going out and quizzing people on the streets of New York City in a very sarcastic, in-your-face way.
And then in terms of the rights for those types of shows, so you do the Fuse deal. So they can obviously show it on Fuse. Is there a way for you to also show that stuff on the Funny or Die site later in like a window 6 months later? Or?
Yep. We're actually, we're working really closely with Fuse on this deal because we think it has so much potential on the show. So once it airs on TV, then we're actually putting it on Funny or Die or like little just snippets from the show, the best of, the next day on Funny or Die, so it's exposed to our audience.
And is Fuse putting it up on their website as well?
They are not. We're actually creating a website. Funny or Die is creating the Billy Eichner website.
Okay.
So it's all going to kind of funnel through there because we're leveraging the power of funnyordie.com, which has 12 million uniques coming a month versus the Fuse, which doesn't have nearly as much, and then what we get from all of our SEO and stuff like that. So we have a better chance of, and within our player, of seeding and having people discover and driving views to the content.
Give me an example of a brand you recently worked with on one of these branded content plays where, what were their sort of objectives and metrics of success, and then post-mortem, what was their feedback to you in terms of meeting those goals?
Yeah, I think when most people come in for branded, they really just, it's more about awareness. It's more awareness about the product that they're focused on. And
so what's one you recently did?
We did one for Halo, which was pretty amazing. It had Snoop Dogg in it. It had LL Cool J and a couple special appearances throughout, and they were playing Halo together. And it was great because it was the right amount of product in there with the bigger amount of comedy and entertainment.
It was tasteful.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like beating people with the Halo brand name over and over.
Right, exactly. And I think that's an important thing for all of our brand strategy and stuff that we talk to the brands about the most is especially online, it's not about making a commercial, it's about entertaining, right? And if you want your video to go viral or to be shared, you have to entertain first and sell second. So some brands get it, some brands don't, you know, so it's a very delicate balance.
What are some of the growth challenges you're facing right now?
I think for Funny or Die itself is, you know, it's just more exposure of the brands. I think we definitely have a core audience that comes back regularly, and it's growing. But I think in terms of everyone outside of California, New York, and Texas, I still think there's some brand discovery that we still need to do, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because a kid in Iowa should be finding Will Ferrell funny videos just as funny as someone in California, and I think like as we're growing, we need to focus on how to get more exposure. And we don't have a marketing budget, so we rely heavily on organic tactics.
How big is the team right now?
It's 3 people for marketing.
All right, I was going to say.
Oh no, for marketing it's 3 people. For the company it's 70.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're divided between San Francisco, Los Angeles, or Silicon Valley, Los Angeles, and New York.
Okay. So there are a lot of sort of like content people, a couple engineers, a couple marketing people.
Yeah, exactly. So LA is all content, and it's the majority of our headcount. Then in Silicon Valley, it's marketing, business development, engineering, and then in New York, it's sales. Okay. Yeah.
In terms of reaching that sort of middle America consumer with your 3-person marketing team and minimal budget, what is sort of your strategy to engage that audience?
Yeah, I do think organic growth can only take you so far, and that there is an earned component or a paid component that has to kind of bring you to that next level, and that's what I'm figuring out right now. So we'll do it in a number of different ways that are low cost per acquisition as possible. So, you know, Google AdWords, you know, Facebook, maybe some bought media on strategic sites, but you know, it'll probably be driven through mainly search and social media.
So for that pay component, it's conceivable that in the next 6 months I could be seeing a Funny or Die TV commercial?
I don't think we'll ever be a TV commercial, but you will see us on a lot of more sites and maybe some banner ads and more search results.
So, and those banner ads, I'm assuming, will be sort of video centric?
Yes.
So they're not just going to be like a couple animated GIFs, they'll be like a video playing on the side of site or pre-roll of something I'm watching somewhere else.
Right, exactly. I think we'll focus on the talent behind Funny or Die and drive it that way, as opposed to Funny or Die just as an overarching brand.
So with these bloggers, what's sort of your goal with them, and what are you giving them that makes them want to rally around the Funny or Die brand?
Yeah, I think for us, it's using those outlets judiciously. Because they can embed our player, they can embed content onto their site. So we're giving them content for their viewers. You don't have to leave their site to view this content. Now, the first thing is it's giving them the relevant stuff, right? So that's why we break it down into categories. So we're not going to send a highly political video to entertainment sites because it just doesn't make sense to their audience. And we don't send them every single video that we make. You know, we're making 30 videos a month. So even if it is a celebrity and we have 3 celebrities in videos all week, I'm not sending it out to the same people all the time. So we use it judiciously. What we try to do is sometimes we'll give certain bloggers a premiere of the video, depending on who's in it and the relationship we have with that blogger. But most of the time we just really go out when the video is live and let them know about it, you know, and get it to them as quickly as possible and let them do with it what they want to.
So it's not like getting into their hands a day before it actually goes live on the Funny or Die site. It's just saying, hey guys, we know you're a comedy, we know you're an entertainment industry blogger. We're not going to inundate you with all your stuff. And they're probably psyched, okay, yeah, definitely send me all the relevant stuff when it comes out.
Yeah, exactly. And we keep very personal relationships with them. Even if there's 100 blogs within one category or 200 blogs, each one of them receives an individual email, and we try to form a relationship with them, because whether it be a blog that gets 1 million hits a month or a blog that gets 10, I still think it's important to keep a relationship up, because that's what it's all about in the end. So it's a lot of typing though.
How involved is Will Ferrell these days?
He's he's always been a lot more involved than I ever thought he would be. He really, we actually have our offices down here with Gary Sanchez Productions, with his production team. So on a day-to-day basis, he's not coming in and asking me how many Twitter followers we have, but on like the big strategic decisions, he's definitely involved with that. And then, one of the reasons Will and Adam McKay started Funny or Die was they wanted a playground for themselves and their friends to actually create, coming from the SNL sketch environment. They wanted that. So, when he wants to go out and do something, he just comes to Funny or Die and puts together a video, and we put it up there, and it's a fun, easy environment.
It seems like for a lot of A-list actors, there is sort of still a street cred component to doing online stuff. Like it actually gives you street cred.
Right.
Is that sort of a fair commentary?
Yeah,
and I'm not just saying on Funny or Die, I'm just saying like, when the whole concept of, online videos came around, there's not, a big budget to pay Leonardo DiCaprio millions of dollars.
Right.
But someone like that is still doing this stuff sort of as I think one, because it lets them be creative.
Right.
There's no studio saying it's this or that, but also just sort of because there's such an explosion of young people consuming stuff online, you sort of almost want to say, hey, I'm here too.
Right. Yeah, I think when Will did The Landlord, it was groundbreaking to an extent. One, it was an extremely funny video. Two, you didn't see a celebrity of his caliber making a 3-minute video and putting it online for a lot of the reasons that you said, But to me, I think right now, to your point, celebrities want to start making online videos, less about any type of money, but more about awareness, and having people share their content with other friends. So we find a lot of talent coming to us a month or two before a movie's coming out, or an album's coming out, or their TV show's premiering, because they want to get people talking about them and putting their name out there. So it's a publicity.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for them it's like a different avenue than going on Leno or Letterman or Conan.
Right.
It's another way to get their name out there right in front of the release of their movie.
Right, before they start doing their junkets or doing their tours. It's to get people, and what we find is, they'll do a video with us, it goes out there and starts becoming viral, all the blogs are starting to pick it up, and then they'll say, XYZ just did this video with Funny or Die, oh, and by the way, they have a movie coming out in 2 months or whatever,
So we'll see Lindsay Lohan doing something with Funny or Die before her next big blog, before her Playboy spread comes out.
Exactly. I mean, we did a video with Lindsay, right?
No.
Yeah, we did a video like 2 years ago with Lindsay for an eHarmony commercial, and this was when she was, not that she's not in the news, but still kind of a star and in the tabloids all the time about her relationships. And we did this great video with her. It was self-deprecating and it was funny, and it really, for a moment, what I saw was captured America again, to say, oh, this is a Lindsay Lohan we know and love, and is talented and can be self-deprecating. And I thought that was a moment that things are going to go the right way, but everyone makes different decisions. So
I think you guys should call her up in advance of the Playboy issue coming out.
Is she doing it in Playboy?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yes.
But to the point of other celebrities like coming in and
you want to keep talking about that?
I don't really know her. No, I think it's another outlet too, to give people the ability to change perception of them. Like, we're doing a lot of stuff with Mike Tyson right now. And not that his perceptions need to be changed more recently, but like it shows a different side of people that are looked at on a different light, you know, and it can be a really great way. Like going on SNL can change how people perceive you. So,
well, Patrick, thanks for sitting down with me, and I hope next time you're better prepared with your joke, so that when we sit down again,
everyone loves the duck joke.